myself 20,000 times, and I didn't want to be posting 20,000 live recordings. So the way that I'm doing the Eclectic Weekend podcast, the way Station Head has it now, that whenever I go live and do a live broadcast, it records that broadcast so that I can be able to post it onto my blog, so that those who don't get to hear it the night before, because everybody ain't got the same schedule, get to hear it the next day or whenever they go to one of my blogs. Anyway, my connection was very weak, and I was having to break it up and everything, and it was just too crazy. So what I'm going to do my dedication next week at midnight for sure. I said this is my last time having to push it back a night. I'm going live Friday night. What regardless of how things are going, I'm just gonna keep that Friday night midnight thing. I like that so much better. The vibe is better Friday nights. I feel more like I'm catering to the crowd that I want to cater to, which is the Friday night, just got paid, ready to go out. And you can hear me en route to wherever you're going, or if you're at home having your own little pajama party like we are. I'm on grandma duty this week. I can do that, and I feel better about that. I also feel better about doing it next week because now I don't feel so crunched and everything. But from now on, I'm going to try to do my verses dedications before the actual performance so that I can give you some history on the performers and all of that there. But tonight I'm just going to go ahead and push this back to next week, and I'll also give you a review of how I felt like the whole thing went. I didn't get to see Supercat's performance. If it's on Fight, I probably will get to see it sometime this week and kind of get that done too. Um, anyway, sorry about tonight. It's late anyway. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Most of y'all probably home, getting ready to go to bed. So next week at midnight for sure. I promise, and Scouts honor. So I will see you guys. Enjoy your Saturday night. Um, please watch tomorrow night's verses. If you can watch it from your Instagram, or you can watch it from Fight TV, FITE. Download the app on your thing, and let's show some love. These are two artists that have poured out their life for us, and really, for me, kind of both artists kind of help. Every time I get a legend, see a legend from that era. Like they were the soundtrack of my life. They were the soundtrack when I went out to go out with my friends, when I was driving in my car. Both of them were awesome artists. So let's show them some love, for what they do. What they're doing is what they do is not easy. It's not easy being in the public eye. It's not easy, pouring out your life in your songs. It's not easy doing, what they have been doing is really ministry. They're pouring their life out. So let's show, just like they showed us love, let's try to show them some love tomorrow night and show up. I believe the performance is at 7 o'clock. So let's be there for them, and I will talk to you guys over the internet. I went out tonight with the Queen Mother. We went to see Halloween Kills. It was a masterpiece. If you are a horror fan, and I'm a horror fan, and people don't understand, um, when you're a horror fan, it doesn't just mean you like a bunch of blood and gore. I mean, that was the whole slasher flick, and they're bringing some of those back. Um, how many of you are excited? How many of you that went out tonight and went to see Halloween are excited about the new up and coming Scream? There's another installment to the franchise, and they're bringing back a lot of the main cast. It will be Nev Campbell, um, Courtney Courtney Cox from not only Scream but also Monica from Friends. Her I don't know if they're I don't know if they're divorced now or not, but David Arquette, and many of you know he is the brother of Rosanna Arquette, and I forget what the other one's name is. And then they had another brother who was a part of the trans community that passed away. So um, he's going to be in it. Uh, who was the other one? There were quite a lot of the original cast is going to be there. I'm also going to start doing the out and about movie reviews again, and I have a backlog of that, so I have to get back caught up with that. I highly recommend this movie if you can go out and see it. If you can get to go see it was Halloween Kills, and they go back and still talk about the original. If you are new to the franchise, I highly recommend that you see the very first Halloween so you can kind of get some genesis. The slasher flicks, bring back a lot of memories for me. I'm a big horror movie fan. And being a horror movie fan is not just about the blood and gore and the gross. I mean, I am a fan of film noir. I am a fan of black and white horror films. I'm a fan of the whole Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman. Like, I like it all. I really do. So it's not just about the blood and the gore, it's about the suspense, it's about a good storyline, it's about the jump scares. It's just something that I am a horror nerd. I will not lie to you. I'm a scary person nerd. And as a black woman, one of the only things that disappointed me is that we're in 2021 and horror films that have largely white casts. Can you please let black people live until the end of the movie? That's one of the complaints I have about horror films that have a largely white cast is that is the lack of diversity. The lack of diversity when it comes to who survives. The lack of diversity as far as parts. Now that would be the only thing that was disappointing, and I would still say that this film is a masterpiece. It also shows some love to your girl Kyle Richards. I have to give Kyle Richards a shout out. So if you know who Kyle Richards is, she's one of Paris Hilton's aunts, and she's one of the Real Housewives. I'm trying to remember. She's Beverly Hills. Her and her other her and their other aunt. There's like three sisters, and one of them is married. One of them is Paris Hilton's mother, and she's married into the famous Hilton um, hotel chain. But the one that was in tonight's is Kyle Richards, and she's because one of the sisters is blonde and one of the sisters is brunette. This was the brunette one. So she was in it tonight, and she had a pretty size. She had a more sizable part than I thought she was gonna have, and my girl was a badass. She not only survived. I don't want to give away too much of the movie, but like it was really good. The acting was really good. Just everybody did their part. Um, They also had, and it was pretty much an all star cast. Most of them were people that I have heard of and seen. Also, Michael Anthony Hall is in this one. I did not know. I knew Jamie Lee Curtis was going to be in it because it's not Halloween without Jamie Lee Curtis. It's just not. You have to know the whole story of the franchise. That's why I said if you're new to the Halloween movies, please watch the very first Halloween, and then you'll see how things kind of generate into this one. You have to see the first one and everything. This is kind of as a horror movie fan, as a scary movie fan, October is kind of one of my favorite months because that's when they come out. I like October because even though I don't really celebrate Halloween like that, still born again Christian. It's when people turn out. It's when the best scary movies are going to be on, and be around. I'm really disappointed that the new Scream isn't going to be around until January. So that part kind of little sucks, but I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. I'm gonna go ahead. I saw all the other ones, so I'm happy that this one's. I'm geeked. I'm ready for it. Regina King has a new movie coming out, and it's a largely black cast. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to showing my love and support to black cinema. It is a black cowboy and cowgirl flick. If you ever, it puts me in mind of there was this movie, old '70s movie, '70s flick, but it was a western, and I think it was Thomasina and Bushrod. So if you're a '70s, and I welcome the new kids, the new people, the young people that are starting to see what '70s cinema was about for Black people and the whole black exploitation thing. It was sort of a black renaissance to me as far as black people in entertainment. It was wasn't just, it was movies, it was books, it was music, and it was just everything. So this movie kind of almost puts me in mind of a cross between Thomasine and Bushrod, but also in the '90s we had oh god, what was that movie? Posse. Right. So if you get a chance to see either one of those, just to kind of warm you up for this one, let me see here. What is the name of this movie? Eh, tell you what. Let me come back over here to this stream. Okay, now they ain't gonna let me come back to the stream. Oh, I hate when that happens. So let me look, because I can still Google stuff on my phone. But I had a few I also had a few topics that I wanted to touch on tonight too, so I'll be able to do that. You know, I wanted to talk about um, black women, not the '90s, and black women and interracial romance, and to me, how the Apostolic Church kind of messed that up in the new millennium, and that may be a podcast. That may be what I talk about next week because I remember the '90s so well. Like I was thinking about the '90s and how it seemed like at that time we had so much freedom to just date a guy we liked, period. Regardless of color, regardless of whatever, we were just seriously checking for character. Now, you might say, well, how is that any different than the diverse community and different other people? But we also were free to explore Black love. So even though we prefer Black men and we were really wanting to be with a Black man, we were also open to the fact that, maybe our husband ain't going to be the same color as us. And it wasn't forced, it wasn't coerced. I don't, and I've said this, and I'm going to continue to say it. I don't believe the current. I don't believe that the current um, pressure for Black women to swirl is coming from God. In the '90s, because we didn't feel no pressure. In the '90s, I felt like we didn't have no pressure to swirl. Swirling was completely up to us, dating our own men completely up to us. I think we have a lot more faith in Black love. I just really think that this current atmosphere of interracial dating is just not the same. There seems to be a survival set. There almost seems like a human trafficking tinge to it. So let me see. As you can see, somebody is trying to get up on grandma. Okay, new movie. So the name of her new movie, and it's not only Regina King, it is Idris Alba, it is my dude Lakeith Stanfield, and it's really an all star cast. The name of the movie is going to be The Harder They Fall, and I'm here to tell you, like I love me some Regina King. I remember watch. I have been a fan of Regina King's since, and it comes out in November. Um, I have been I have been a fan of your girl since 227 and everything. And I feel like I watched her grow up and she's like all this good and grown now and just doing her thing, directing, acting, like she's just doing it all. And as a black woman, I'm here for it. That's my girl. So we're gonna have to show some love in November when this movie comes out. It is a western. What a lot of people, and I tell you what, a second, um, I won't say a second. Another favorite month of mine is February. I love February because it's Black History Month. That means I'm going to see all the black media I want to see, black movies, from the 70s exploitation, the old black and whiters, all of the stuff that celebrates us and celebrates our rich history in media and tells you, everything like the stuff that everybody else want to play down, we get to study our history. And that's my favorite time to talk about the black woman's presence in the fight for civil rights, not only civil rights, but also the black female presence in the world of feminism. So I get to talk about our fight for equal rights and how it wasn't white feminism and black feminism. It was really feminism. It was women, standing together. The iconic picture of Gloria Steinem and the other black lady, Miss Pittman Bowles, standing next to each other with the fist. It is such. I don't think people understand that it was real. That really what that they were what you would call second wave feminism. Yeah, I'm a big history buff. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I had started digging into some of these backgrounds and looking up all this stuff that I never looked at before, I get excited being able to teach about it and everything. So my little green thing is up here saying right now. So, um, Giovanni, you want to say hi to everybody? This is the G baby. So this is the G baby. As you can see, he not looking. Look at Wade. Look, look, look at Wade. He's busy looking at pink pong. I tell you what, if you have any babies, pink pong. So if you have any little ones like this, pink pong. So if you have any little ones like this, ping pong is the channel for you. Ping pong is where we got Baby Shark, um, the club is sound for the toddler set, and for the grandparents and parents of the toddler set. So so yeah, this is the grandbaby. Everybody got to see the little grandbino that I brag on. I am doing grandmother duty tonight. So um, to talk about YouTube videos as a kids video, ping pong is I highly recommend it. Those little Asian kids that do the Baby Shark series or whatever, and so it's really good. And like as you can see, he's barely paying attention to grandma because he's so into it. Now I'm not talking about letting the TV babysit your children, but once you turn this on, you'll be so mesmerized. Anyway, so back to everything that I'm talking about now. So I am going to go ahead and do this from now on when I live broadcast. And I will be letting you know whether or not that Friday I'm going to live broadcast or not. Whatever I broadcast on, because I'm going to continue to do the on my way to work Friday morning broadcast. I'm continuing to do that. I'm going to continue to do announce whatever I'm going to do that. So if I'm going to go live that Friday night and do a live broadcast, I will let you guys know during one of these broadcasts on Friday morning and everything. I'm actually glad to be back on Station Head, even though I'm still doing Anchor. We'll be doing Anchor this week. So my other favorite time of my other favorite month is Black History because same reason, everything black, and I get to discuss all kind of Black history. Another favorite time is March because of Women's History Month. I get to go into global feminism and talk about all of that. Another favorite time of mine is June because we get to celebrate Juneteenth. And the wonderful thing is Juneteenth now has an official day and is now a national holiday, just like the 4th. So we get to celebrate our freedom as Black people, where we actually got our freedom and everything. So it's just wonderful. So, and I like June because Juneteenth, it is also Black Music Month. So I get to celebrate all forms of Black music and Black music. People say, well, you're eclectic weekends, but you hardly play any white people. Uh, First of all, as I continue to dig into our stuff, it's like that's just the direction that I'm being led to go in right now as far as different forms of music. I like all kinds of music, period. If you're a good artist, whether it's country, whether it's gospel, whatever, I'm going to give you your dues. But so those are kind of my favorite times of the year. And then there's also the holiday season. I love, December. I love Christmas. Celebrate it, even though, there are people who have issues with whether or not it's actually Jesus' birthday. But the celebration of the season, the celebration of the holidays, I kind of love when um, November and November and December and January roll around, come around, because there there's such a togetherness, unity, and fellowship and family that ideally should be going on during those months. And the new year being a new beginning, a new chance to get it right. If you didn't get it right the year before, you have a chance to try to start over and start new. Okay, and then of course my personal favorite is summertime. Number one, I was born in the summer. I'm a July baby, and summer is just an awesome time for me because mm, the it is a chance to reconnect. It is a chance to people do their family reunions and family vacations in the summer. So it's a chance to these are just I guess but those are my favorite times of years for those different reasons. Anyway, you guys enjoy your Sunday because it is like three 24 in the morning. So if you're going to church, enjoy church, pray for everybody. I just saw a thing here recently where they had a human trafficking bust, and they busted over like 200 adults and found like about 10, 20, or whatever children. Like, you know, pray for these little ones. When you see these Amber Alerts and you hear about these missing people, immediately go into intercession mode. You don't know who is coming out of this stuff alive. I remember when they made the announcement in Cleveland with that Ariel Castro, when they found those girls alive. Those girls had been missing for 10 years. They had been missing for an entire decade. And they were found in Cleveland and they were found alive. Ain't God good? Now, there are people who will say, well, if God is so good, how do you wind up getting taken in the first place? That's because y'all don't give Satan enough credit for all his mess. Okay? When you see these Amber Alerts, when you hear about these missing kids, intercede on behalf of these babies. You just don't know how many kids are coming out of this stuff because somebody praying for them children. It is important that we pray. It is important that we intercede when we practice. To me, the news is the best thing to look at and practice your intercessory prayer skills. You don't know what situation you might be might be inviting divine intervention in just simply by praying and taking it to God. I'm just saying. So I will talk with you guys over the internet on the different spaces where I am. I'm gonna write them down. I'm gonna write them down this week, not just one of these days. I'm gonna write them down this week, and I'm gonna let you know exactly where you can find me on the web. And if you want to get on Haps TV, this is a good place to follow me as well. So I will talk with you guys later. You have a good one. Bye bye. Yeah.